Carlos, I know you constantly talk about the guys in that room and the way they work and having a positive attitude throughout this, but when the losses pile up and in the manner that they have, what is the challenge of keeping a positive outlook?
Yeah, I mean, it's not easy right now, especially when you're not able to finish the job, in a game where you felt like you had it, and then before you know it, you're behind. Continue to, come back the next day and bring the same attitude here, and, it's not about how good are we preparing and all that. That's all great. It's just about the results now, and when you're going through stretches like this, everybody has to do their part, right? We got to find a way to get the job done here. Feels like fundamentally, obviously, we're not playing a good baseball right now. You look at, we gave them extra bases, and they made us pay. But as far as the attitude, there's a lot of guys there frustrated, but we got to keep going.
You mentioned the fundamentals, and last year you talked a lot about winning baseball plays. Why do you think that has slipped so much here as of late?
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about a catcher's interference there that starts the rally. It's a completely different inning than, leading off the ninth. Obviously, is a play that Lindor usually makes, and we're not doing that. And teams are making it. You're playing really good teams, and especially when you're getting to these stretches here, you got to execute. Last year at the beginning of this year, like you're executing those plays. We haven't been able to do that. So we got to get better.
What was the thought process taking Sproat out after just 70 pitches? Then?
Yeah, I mean, even though there was only 70 pitches, when you look up on that sixth inning, there was a big-time velo drop. We're talking about like 5-6 miles per hour there from 97, 98 to 93, and they were sort of hard hit balls there. He got through that inning, and I checked with him physically, are you fine? And he's like, yes, all right, so I'm going to go to the bullpen here. He wanted to keep going, and you respect that, and rightfully so. But when you're watching that inning like that, and this is a kid that holds his velo. When I'm watching all of his outings in AAA, and even when he went to the seventh inning, there was 97, there was 98. When I saw that sixth inning at 93, 90, barely 94, so 93, I wasn't going to take any chances.
Tony?
Just to clarify on that, is there any concern that there is something physically
No,
wrong?
not at all.
Okay.
Not at all.
And throughout this losing streak, you guys have kind of hung your hats on the idea that despite it all, you're still leading the wild card race, but you're not anymore. How much does that add to your concern?
Well, I mean, we're not in a playoff spot right now, and we're here to achieve our ultimate goal. And if the season's over right now, I don't think we're there, right? So we got to get going here fast. That's the battle line. We got to start getting. We got to get the job done because that's period. It's been too long. So,
Anthony? Harp?
Carlos, with nobody on base, especially, is that catcher's interference? Is that something he's got to be aware of? He can't make that mistake.
Yeah, I mean, and I feel like we have a few of them this year. And off Rogers, they're gonna let that ball travel as deep as possible. And it's just we didn't have the awareness there, and it cost us.
Peter?
Especially before that sixth inning, just what did you see from Sproat today that made
Yeah,
him so sharp?
he was good. That sinker was good. He kept getting ground balls. I thought the sinker was his pitch today, but then he went to the sweeper. He used all of his pitches. He threw strikes. He attacked. And weak contact. I thought overall he was solid.
Maybe just how encouraging is it to see him do that on this stage and this early in his career?
Yeah, I mean, that's back-to-back outings, right? That we've seen it, and he knows where we at, and for him to go out there, and that's a hot lineup right now, and he kind of shut them down. So some really positive signs out of him.
Mark?
Carlos, just 1 for 10 with runners in scoring position. Just what did you see in those at-bats, and are they kind of pressing a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, that's, when you look at, they got two-out hits, and we had a few situations when we didn't get that big one, and I feel like that's been the case for quite a bit. So you add that to the fact that we're not playing fundamental baseball, At times I feel like we chase. At times taking strike three. So it's a combination of a lot of different things here.
Just big picture, as these losses pile up, is it getting tougher to believe that at some point this is going to turn for you guys?
I mean, we've still got an opportunity. You still got to believe, right? But you got to get going.